voice in focus? I don't even know. So it's the first day of NaNoWriMo, and I did no planning, and I'm starting to realize today that I did no planning. So I just wanted to film a quick intro clip to this vlog because, you know what, if you do NaNoWriMo and you don't vlog it, did you even do NaNoWriMo? I haven't started writing. In the past, when I've done NaNoWriMo when I was a teenager, I would start when I woke up in the morning. I've talked about this already. I'm doing Nano slightly unconventionally. I'm not trying to write 50,000 words. I'm a pretty slow drafter. Nowadays, my writing process is pretty slow. I like to write slowly, and I don't want to write 50,000 words, to be clear. I don't aspire to. For me, the first draft is my favorite part of the writing process, and I really enjoy taking my time with the first draft to polish it, to really enjoy it. You know, I like to spend my time enjoying the first draft because it's my favorite part of the process. And personally, I enjoy writing more when I take my time to craft a first draft that I think is as strong as I can make it, rather than writing it quickly and having more editing on my plate later. Personal preference, that's just what I prefer to do. My goal for this NaNoWriMo is just to write every day for the month. Even if it's one sentence, that's totally fine. Originally, this vlog was meant to be more productivity focused because I wanted to really just challenge myself to write for 30 days to see how it would impact me, because at the moment I have been out of school for a year, and so I don't have any deadlines, and I also don't use any kind of scheduling or goal system. I basically just write when I feel like writing, which some people say is bad, but I think is fine. And so for the past year, I've kind of been able to observe my natural creativity and see how I work with absolutely no constraints keeping me on track. Kind of see how much I naturally produce. Got to observe my natural, unregulated creative rhythm, which is very up and down. Write a lot for a couple weeks, then not as much, then maybe none at all for a week, then a lot, you know, it's like this. But I did want to try writing every day for 30 days to see how it impacts my writing process, because it is such common advice, and I wanted to analyze how it does or does not work for me. I'm not a very productivity focused person on this channel or in life. I think it's great if those methods work for you, but when I was really productivity focused, it was really unhealthy for me. Was there anything else I wanted to say? Oh yes. If in old videos you see me say that I write every day or almost every day, I wasn't lying. It's just because at the time I did. I know I'm saying now that I don't write every day, but I know in past videos, in older videos, I have said that I write almost every day. That was true at the time. I used to write with daily word count goals, and I would write books every day with a word count goal until the book was done, which is so different from how I write now. When I was in school, I was writing pretty much every day because I had school assignments and they were creative writing projects. So yes, I used to write almost every day, but now I don't, and I'm curious to see how I find it. I do obviously have a NaNoWriMo project I'm working on, which is Holding a Ghost, a book that I'm restarting because I wasn't really happy with how I'd set up the form as I got about 20k, and I realized I'd not made the right narrative decisions. So I'm restarting that, but I might not work on that every day. I do like to zigzag and work on different things. I find working on different things, it's the energy bounces off of each other. I get really tired really fast if I just work on one thing, but if I have multiple projects to work on, it's they all energize each other. So that's why I work on multiple stuff. Anyways, that's all I have to say. It's what, 3:10 now? And I should probably write something. I literally haven't planned at all. I think I know what I'm doing for my first sentence, but I really haven't thought about how I'm going to structure this opening. Hello, so it is NaNoWriMo day 2. My hair again looks awful. I'm again wearing the same shirt. It's gonna be a whole month of this. So it's 5 minutes to 5 right now. I'm about to start writing. It's already so dark outside. Do not understand daylight savings, because the whole point of it is to give you an extra hour of daylight in the summer. I don't need extra daylight in the summer, because in the summer the sun would set at 8 p.m. even without daylight savings. I need it in the winter. It's when the sun sets at 3:45 that my will to live sets with it. I'm about to start writing Holding a Ghost. I've actually just spent the past 10 minutes doing a little bit of writing. I just wanted to change the end of a short story that I wrote recently, just because I had an idea for the ending and I wanted to reframe it a little. So I guess technically I have already done my writing for the day, because that was my goal, was just to write every day for the month. And I wrote a paragraph, goal achieved, but I still do want to work on Holding a Ghost. I don't really have anything else to do this evening. So yesterday I wrote about 1,000 words, just over 1,000 words, which again, I'm not mad at because I do not have any word count goals. There's nothing particularly fascinating to say about what I wrote. I'm hoping today is a little bit easier since I've built up a tiny bit of momentum and I feel like I've been thinking about how I wanted to approach the stuff I'm gonna write today. That's really it. This is gonna be so uneventful. This vlog is gonna be so boring. There's gonna be nothing to say. So it's the next day. It's about 10 to 4. I just went on a quick walk. A little writing update. Yesterday I actually had a really good day of writing and I actually hit the amount of words if I was on track to win NaNoWriMo. I hit that for day 2. It's like 3,334 or something, I think. Just wanted to throw out a quick celebration for that, because this is probably the only time in the month that I will be on track to win. Probably not gonna do a ton of writing today. It's obviously the American election today, and I'm feeling stressed and terrified, so I've been struggling to focus on literally anything at all. I can't imagine how stressed you'd feel if you are American and live in America. I don't even live there, and I feel terrified. So in order to do my writing today, I mean, technically, actually, I wrote one sentence earlier, so I could stop writing, because that's my rule, right? One sentence. I've written one sentence, but I'm probably just gonna do one word sprint for like 20 minutes, and probably that will be all. Hello. So it's day 5 of NaNoWriMo, aka November 5th. Probably gonna film the rest of this vlog with my camera because my phone's like screen protector got a bubble under it right over the front-facing camera, so it looks extremely fuzzy and terrible, which is probably good for you guys because this is really much better quality. It's a Thursday, so I have actually already written today, even though it's quite late. I just finished work. Because it's Thursday, I was hosting a write-in on the Razy channel. So obviously since I was doing that for work as part of my work day, it gave me an opportunity to write really early in the day. Normally I wouldn't write in the morning because, at least on a weekday obviously, because I'm working. I don't really like to write, say like, as a midday break or anything. I don't know, I find it hard to focus on writing if I know I still have work to do, so I usually don't write until I'm done all my work for the day. I just find it really hard to switch from writing then back to work. I don't know, like that's like a steep uphill climb for me in terms of effort, so I like to not do that. But because I was hosting a write-in and it was part of my work day, I basically had 3 15-minute word sprints to write this morning. And I wrote about 1,400 words across those word sprints. So obviously I don't have a word goal, and my only goal is to write at least once a day, and I've already done that. However, because I still have the whole evening, I'm probably gonna try to do a little bit more writing today, just because, I don't know, I feel like I don't really have much else to do, to be honest. I mean, I could read. I'm probably gonna do the reading. I'm reading, oh, it's just the lens came up. I am dumb. I'm reading Emma Klein's collection, which I just started yesterday. I accidentally pre-ordered twice. Do you want to see how stupid I am? I accidentally pre-ordered it twice because I guess I was so excited about it. No, it's because I pre-ordered this like ages ago. This is the American edition, I think, just from like, I think it was from Indigo, which is like Canada's chain bookstore because I wanted those plum points. If you're Canadian, you know. Way later, I completely forgot that I had pre-ordered it. I saw the UK edition and I was like, oh, it's so pretty. So I was like, maybe that's the edition that I want. So I pre-ordered the UK edition and then they both arrived and I was like, well, somebody is an Emma Cline fangirl. All of this is to say, I'm gonna try to do a bit more writing, make it kind of one of the rare days in the month where I actually write, where I actually hit the daily word goal. I think at this point I am laughably far behind. I think today you're supposed to be at like 8,000 words and I'm at like, well, I'm just under 6,000. I could reasonably still catch up if I decided all of a sudden that I wanted to with NaNoWriMo, which I don't. I really try to let my creativity self-regulate as much as possible. So for me, I don't usually have like a specific amount of time I write for or a daily word goal or anything. Instead, I kind of just write until I feel like I'm done writing, and I feel like that's just a natural thing. Like, I just know my brain just goes, we're done writing. Sometimes it's because I reach the end of a scene and I just feel like that sense of completion and I feel satisfied with what I've written. Sometimes my brain just hits a wall and suddenly the words aren't flowing anymore. It's hard to say how I feel about the quality, to be honest, which is strange because I'm concerned about this, because this is how I felt the first time I was writing this book, where it's like I don't dislike it, but I'm not like incredibly excited about what I've written either, which is weird. However, I do think maybe the reason I'm feeling that way is because a lot of what I'm writing at the moment is stuff that was in the old draft and I'm just repurposing it, and so I still have that. I don't really know. I don't know. It's weird. I don't really know how I feel about the actual draft. I do not dislike it, but it's not like I love it either. I guess I was hoping I would feel more excited. Then again, I guess it does feel like rewriting at the moment because I am writing scenes I've already written, just in a different form, and that is usually less exciting than writing new stuff. So hopefully when I catch up to the point I was in the first draft, it'll start to feel a little more fun. Obviously, like, I don't have a goal for this NaNoWriMo other than just to write every day, but I think in terms of project, I'm hoping to, at the bare minimum, by the end of the month, catch up to where I was in the initial draft, which was 23,000 words in the old draft and should be less. I'm trying to shave that 23,000 words into like somewhere between 15 and 17,000 words because it was a bit too drawn out, but that's really all I have. This isn't a very exciting vlog because this hasn't been very exciting or eventful as of yet. Hello, so this is probably going to be one of the final clips of this video. Sorry if there's some weird background noise. I don't know, they're doing some like really weird kind of construction. I don't know what it is. I had a really great writing session yesterday. I think I wrote the most that I've written any day so far. I wrote just under 2,500 words, 2,493. That's the kind of day of writing I don't have super often. I don't write that much every day. That's above average for me for sure. And it was also just like a very enjoyable writing session. I started getting into content that I hadn't written previously. I feel like I was a little bored by all these scenes that were like just redos of scenes that I'd already written. Instead, I got to dig into some new content and it was really, really exciting. Definitely, I condensed the book quite a lot, which is great. I mentioned before how in my first take, first take was a bit too drawn out, and I just feel like the book could have been so much shorter and more concise, and was calling to be more concise than it was in that version I'd written. So I feel great about how much I've condensed it. Probably my favorite writing session so far during Nano. The day before was also pretty nice. I only wrote 900 words that day, but it was like less words, but they were nice to write. Like, it was a pretty slow day of writing, but enjoyable. Like, slow progress, but really enjoyable progress. I feel like over the past 2 days, and especially yesterday, I've finally tapped into that flow of the story that I've been lacking. Something that I was lacking during my first attempt writing, and it's something that I've been craving, is to just really tap into the flow of the story and feel like it's really just sweeping me along. And you know, when you're in the flow of a story and you're just excited to write it every day when you sit down to write, and it starts to take on its own life, kind of. I feel like I was missing that. Obviously, I felt like the story was very alive and complex in my head, but it just wasn't feeling as vibrant when I would sit down to write it. But I feel like I've tapped into that connection as of yesterday, and it's very exciting. Now that I'm getting into writing a lot of new stuff, it's really exciting. So I'm very excited about where this is going. I've actually written a lot more this nano than I was expecting. And I feel like it's that whole like just the writing everyday thing. Honestly, it's working out really well for me. I thought I was gonna be like, this whole video about writing every day, I thought I was gonna be like skeptical, but I thought I was gonna have a lot more criticisms of the practice, but so far it's been great for me. Although obviously I think part of it is just that I don't have a lot going on in my life right now. I'm not super busy. Once I'm done work, I don't have much to do other than write, so maybe that's part of it. But I feel like writing every day has been really nice. Made way more progress than I thought I would have. And it looks like if I write at this rate, I'll clock out at the end of NaNoWriMo with about 30,000 words, which is way more than I was anticipating. There have been several days where I didn't really feel like writing, but then when I sat down to write, I kind of was like, okay, it doesn't matter because I can just write one sentence. But then I end up writing 500 words. It takes off so much pressure to know that I just have to start and then I can quit immediately, but I never do end up quitting immediately. You know, it's so much better for me than having like a big word count. Instead, it's so nice. It's like, okay, just write one sentence and then you can be done. You don't have to write any more than that. But if I'm gonna write one sentence, once I have the energy to start writing, I'm probably gonna do more. So it's been super nice, and I feel like this is definitely a practice that maybe I don't see myself implementing every single day of my life, but that I can definitely see myself implementing more often. I mentioned in another clip how I was really excited to get to the introduction of a certain character, Nadia, who's the love interest of this book. And I love Nadia. She is a character that I adore so much. I've said before that of every character I've ever written in any book of my life, she was the most fully formed immediately. Characters take a different amount of time to develop depending on the character, but they reach a point where they feel alive, you know? Like they click into place, they feel fully alive, as real as any real person. I just have that inherent understanding of them. And sometimes for characters it takes a long time for that to happen, and sometimes it happens quite quickly, but for Nadia it was basically instant. Like she's always been a very clear, vivid character. Every time I write a scene with her, I psych myself out a bit and I feel like I don't capture her properly, and I didn't know why that was, but I think it's dumb, but I think I get a little nervous to write her because I love her so much. It's stupid, but it's like I'm nervous around my crush. Like that's literally the dynamic of me trying to write Nadia, where it's like I like this character so much and I think she's so awesome and I'm a little bit in love with her, that every single time I try to write her, I get a little like psyched out. Now that I've tapped into that and figured that out, I've kind of moved past that and I've been really enjoying writing all the characters. There was another character in the book, Asa, was not my favorite. I feel like he hadn't really clicked. I hadn't really figured him out. And I didn't like the plot line with him that as I had developed it. I didn't like any of the scenes with him. His storyline was my least favorite part of the book in my first attempt. And I completely took a different approach this time, completely different scenes, which is what I was actually writing yesterday. And I like how it turned out so much more. So all in all, I'm feeling pretty great. This is awesome. I'm really excited about my book, and now that I've got that, like I've tapped into that flow of the story, I feel excited to write. I don't know, I just feel this like excitement and zeal to write. It's like all I want to do, which I feel like is what I have been calling for and what I've been hoping for this whole time I've been writing, is to get to that point, because that's how I felt before I started writing, right? Like this book was my motivation to finish Honey Vinegar. When I was near the end of Honey Vinegar, all I wanted to do was start writing this book. As much as I adore Honey Vinegar, this book was like so full and all-consuming in my brain. I wanted to start it so badly. It was like my reward to motivate me for finishing Honey Vinegar. And then when I started writing it, it fell flat. It wasn't working, and that was disappointing. And I feel like I finally have gotten to that place of like excitement for the story. So that's really all I've got. I'll probably have one more short clip tomorrow after the write-in. Hello, I'm just here with a final clip for this vlog. I just came from the Readsy write-in where I was doing a couple writing sprints. I didn't write that much during the write-in because we were having technical difficulties, so during the sprints I was just trying to fix those rather than actually writing. I really only wrote for one of the sprints. I think it was about like maybe 400-500 words total. Yesterday though, I had an amazing writing session. I wrote over 2,000 words again, and I was just very excited about what I wrote. I really liked how it turned out. During the sprint today, actually, I hit the point that I was at in my first take, my old draft, So I'm now officially in uncharted territory, completely uncharted waters. Everything from here on out will be new content. In some ways that might make the writing go slower, obviously, because I don't have a roadmap to follow, but also I have been feeling a lot more excited the past few days over my book because I've been writing new stuff. Like, early on in NaNoWriMo, to be honest, I was just feeling kind of bored because everything I wrote were scenes I'd already written. For the first week of NaNoWriMo, it felt like I hadn't written anything. Like, I didn't feel like I'd actually made progress or written anything, even though I wrote 10,000 words the first week, and it's because it was all scenes I'd already written, and so it didn't feel like I was making progress. Literally felt like I hadn't written at all, even though I'd written 10,000 words. But the past few days, as I've been getting into writing more new content, and now I'm at the point where it's all going to be new content, it actually feels more exciting. It feels like I'm actually writing and actually producing. Probably going to be more on and off. It's probably going to be a bit patchier, but I think it's going to be a lot more exciting because I'm actually going to be producing. And I talked about this in the last clip, but I've gotten just very excited about my book. I've really been enjoying writing it over the past few days as I've gotten to the new part of the book and gotten to write new stuff. I feel very in the flow, connected to it. It's really all I've got for this vlog. I'll close it off before it gets too long. Hopefully I'm gonna have a part 2 for the second half of NaNoWriMo. Let me know in the comments how your NaNoWriMo is going, if it's going well. Honestly, in terms of word count, I'm doing way better than I thought. I think I'm at just under 17,000 words, which isn't even that far behind where you're supposed to be. I literally can't believe it. I've written way more than I was expecting to. It's shocking. I literally thought that I would probably write maybe 16,000 words in the whole month. I was expecting to finish the month at around 20,000. At this rate, I'm going to end up producing way more than I thought. Obviously, this isn't about productivity. It's not about producing as much as possible. For me, it was just about trying to get back into my book and, I don't know, write every day, make progress, enjoy writing. In terms of productivity, I have surprised myself greatly. I can't believe I've written this much. Obviously, I had a bit of a helping hand in that I was writing scenes I'd already written. There were pieces where I was able to integrate the imagery that was already there and stuff. So that obviously helped. It's interesting to me how it's actually the days where I was writing new content, not old content, where I wrote a bunch. All my days where I've written over 2,000 words were the days I was writing new scenes and didn't have old scenes to look at, because it's just more fun. So that's pretty much all I've got for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, you can always send me an ask on Tumblr, and I'll see you in another video.